Welcome to the Online Success Journey Podcast, your opportunity to discover and learn from entrepreneurs like yourself. This is not your typical podcast, but a place where you can get the real story and find out how real people encounter speed bumps and detours, but journey through to find success. Now here's your host for the Online Success Journey Podcast, Patience.
Hello everyone and welcome to Online Success Journey. This is episode 228. Are you ready to join the clan? Today we have Yifat Cohen, one of the very first 100 people to be invited to Google+. She built her entire brand with one show on one platform that most people didn't even care about. Hello Yifat.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I know the clan is anxious to hear your story, so let's get started with the basic. Can you tell my clan a little bit about your background, about what you did before you started your online business?
I've been on the planet for a little while. And so I was born in Israel and I did my military service. I served in the Air Force, Israeli Air Force for 2 years. After that, I went backpacking in South America for like 8 months. I knew nothing of the language, nothing, nothing of the people, not the culture, nothing. Just took a one-way ticket to Chile and had fun for 8 months. And then I went back to Israel and I became a journalist. And I had my home, my house, my car, my dog. All that's missing was goldfish, and that kind of felt like it. And then I did a meditation course called Vipassana, which is a 10-day silent meditation. If anyone ever hear of that thing or just want to go clear your head, it's highly recommended. It doesn't cost a thing. They actually host you and feed you and take care of you for 10 days. And by the end of the 10 days, you can decide whether or not you want to pay it forward. So you either serve in the next course or you pay a little bit for the next person to be in. And I decided I want to go and spend some time in a Vipassana center and until I figure out what I want to do with my life. And so my cousin, who's a New Yorker, sent me an email and she said, hey, if you ever want to come to the States, you can stay with me. And I said, well, great, I'll be there in 2 weeks. And she said, well, I'm going to Austin. And I'm like, okay, great. So I found myself in Austin, Texas, about 20 years ago. I went to University of Austin in Texas. I graduated with honors with Spanish and business. And then, like I think most college students kind of fell into network marketing, trying to sell stuff online. And I found that I sell more online than I do, trying to talk to my friends and family about this. And that started becoming like a thing, doing work online. And then Google launched Google+. And I was one of the first 100 people to join. And I launched a video show. Back then, there was nothing. There was live stream and hardly anyone was doing anything live. People will not even go, on Skype and talk to each other, strangers. And what Google did was fantastic because all of a sudden strangers are jumping into video conversations. And not only that, they're like being recorded and they're totally fine with this. And so I started interviewing thought leaders, CEOs, authors, experts like, the U.S. ambassador for the UN, the former youngest president of the NAACP, the VP of Walt Disney, like different people. What was cool about my show was that I allowed the audience to come in and speak with these people in real time. And I still do. If anyone is ever interested, every other Thursday, 1 p.m. Central, you can come in and actually speak with top CEOs that you can't get access to in real life. You can just come in, ask them whatever you want on the show. And so that built my brand. Google started flying me around the world to talk about, to teach on Hangouts and on communities and how to build that. I worked with the city of Austin. I was speaking on stages, on radio shows, had my program. Everything was fantastic. And then in April this year, actually last year, 2019, we just switched. Google shut down Google+. And then goes, 7 years of content, relationships, engagement, right? And so what I warn everybody is don't build your home on rented properties. Facebook friends are not your friends. LinkedIn contacts are not yours. Your Instagram followers are not your people. If you don't have their email address or their phone number, or if you're not sending traffic to your own website, you're not building your own business. You're actually building someone else's business. And just like mine, it can disappear in a day. YouTube is blocking accounts. Instagram is blocking, like everybody, right? You wake up one day and you're like, oh, your account has been suspended. So I highly, highly recommend, and I warn everybody, don't build your home on rented properties. If you have an online business, make sure that you're building your own website, not just your Facebook profile or your LinkedIn profile or your YouTube channel. Those metrics don't matter that much.
Wow, thank you. Okay.
What a story, huh?
Yes. Wow. Why do you do what you do?
One of my clients years ago wanted to build a community. She had a big email list, and nobody ever connected. She was selling like those $27 fitness programs, and we built a community for her. And what happened, she was a little stingy, and so there was nothing really in her fitness community. There were no recipes, there were no exercises, nothing. And so what I added was gamification and live face-to-face interaction. And it lasted for about 5 years. And what happened is some of those people came back and they said, I quit Facebook. I find my family in this community. I feel like I have cyber sisters. I'm not alone anymore. Some people were living by themselves, no family, don't know their neighbors, very few friends around. And that community, the fact that they were connecting on video, made them feel not alone anymore, made them feel like they belong. And that's what I want to do in the world. I think there's too much loneliness, too many people committing suicide, too much disconnect, too much suffering. And we have the technology today to connect us, regardless of boundaries, regardless of backgrounds, creed, religion. We can really connect and find like-minded people that are passionate about the same thing we're passionate about. And right now, technology is not used that way. Technology is used to separate, right? Like, look, I'm better than you. Look at me look at me with my Lamborghini. Look at me with my launch. Look at me stuff. But we can use it in different ways. And my passion is to bring people together so that their level of happiness increases, and like hopefully it ripples in the world, and we see a positive effect, right? Because if there's a woman that's happy, then her kids are happy, her husband is happy, her neighbors are happy, her family is happy, and that ripples on. So that's why I do what I do.
Put man aside, how do you know you are successful?
I don't think I know yet. I think once I do, maybe I'll quit. But I think it's always, there's always a next thing, right? Like you've done this and now what next? You put a goal in front of yourself, you achieve it, and now it's like, what next? So I don't think many people feel super successful on the journey. And hopefully I never arrive, because when you arrive, it's like, okay, what's after you arrive, right? I just enjoy the journey.
Tell us why Instagram removing likes is actually good for you.
It's fantastic for you. The fact that Instagram removed likes, they remove that social fear of like the chase for vanity numbers. And the fact is that vanity numbers are not going to pay your rent. Right? It doesn't matter if you have 1 million likes or 2 likes. What matters is how many clients are you getting from that. And so instead of focusing of like, wow, I got 100 likes, I have 50 likes, focus on really making a difference, really transforming, really getting to work with people. And that will change it will change everything. It will change what you post. It will change how you interact. It will change how you get clients, how you make an impact in the world. So I think that not focusing on vanity numbers is a huge positive for the world.
You are disappointing some people who are just relying on likes.
Yeah, and a lot of influencer, right? It's like how they make money, but likes don't mean anything. The fact that someone liked something doesn't mean they're going to take action, buy it, share it, talk about it, come back and, respond to it. It doesn't mean anything.
What have you learned from business as a whole?
The most important thing that you can develop in business is relationships. If you lose everything today, your website, your email list, everything, but you build like really strong relationships, you can get back up pretty quickly, just based on the relationships that you have with people. So if you're connecting with key influence people and truly build like a win-win relationship with them, then you're good to go. That will last you a lifetime in whatever endeavor you're on.
How did you feel when all your content on Hangout got closed down?
Oh, it was horrible. It was very bad. We we were grieving, like everybody at Google Plus that I knew, we were grieving like something died. And it was very funny because a lot of people did not understand why we're grieving. It's kind of like, so we're sad about something that we lost, and everybody's like, you lost what? Like, we didn't even know it existed. But Google Plus was amazing in terms of building relationships with people. I met like some of my best friends on Google Plus. We're still in touch today. People got married, people opened businesses. Your content was popping up on search. It was really, really good. The fact that you can meet people that share your passion and actually talk to them, not being spammy or nothing like that, and just geek out over stuff that you really, really care about with someone who really, really cares about the same thing was amazing. And now it's just, everything is kind of like jaded. You look at Facebook, everybody's like very suspicious. What are you trying to sell me? Same thing with LinkedIn, right? It's harder to connect with people. So Google Plus was a beautiful little bubble at a time.
Wow, I didn't know people were getting married there. I didn't realize it was that powerful.
So think about like, you go to Google and you put a question, right? And Google search spits out articles and images and stuff, right? Google Plus gave you people. So if you're passionate about podcasting, now you're connected to all these amazing podcasters who just as passionate as you are. If you're passionate about horses or poker or underwater basket weaving, it doesn't matter. You would find people who are just as passionate as you about that stuff. And all of a sudden, you don't have to explain, what a show note is or, what a decoder is, or like you have the language with people who get you. And in this world, I think one of the biggest challenges is that we are not understood. We are not easily understood. And when you are surrounded by 5 people, just 5 people who get you, that's a life changer. That's a game changer completely.
Can anyone be an entrepreneur, or are some people more cut out for it than others?
Yeah, I don't think everybody can do that. Entrepreneurship is pretty difficult. You have to have perseverance. You have to go through, some hard times, ups and downs. And some people just need a steady paycheck. To me, in my opinion, that's not easy either, because your life depends on someone else's, waking up on the right foot every morning. I see a lot of people who try it and kind of like, they get depressed. It can be very lonely because you're on your path on your own many times. Unless you get a coach and you join a program or something, and then you can get some support and talk to other entrepreneurs. But otherwise, no, it's not for everybody. It's not for everyone.
What is one thing no one knows about you? Apart from you going 10 days in this meditation, do you talk to anyone while you are in these 10 days?
You don't. And you get at night, after dinner, you do get about, I think, no, you go into a room and there's training, kind of like reviewing the day. And that's the only hour where you can chat with people. But otherwise, it's very interesting. Like you're sitting to eat, for example, and you can't say, pass me the salt, right? You have to get up and actually get it. Or if someone's in the bathroom, you can't say, I'm in the bathroom. There's knocks. You can communicate with knocks. Mm-hmm. Or if you're asleep, you share rooms and you can say, turn off the light. You have to get up and turn off the light. So it's a lot of interesting things, that are happening when you can't talk to each other.
What did you discover in these 10 days?
What did I discover? I discovered a few things. One is that meditation is not for me. I kind of like the ups and downs of life. So I feel like, if everything is always steady and always calm, it's kind of like, for me, it's like a flat line, like you're dead, like I need the excitement and I'm okay with the down. It's kind of like a winter, So I discovered that. It's amazing when there's no gossip. Like think about it, for like 10 days, nobody can say anything about you. You can be as crazy as you want and nobody can go behind your back and be like, she's very crazy, she's doing this thing. So that actually is very freeing, because now you're like, wow, nobody can say anything.
But didn't you feel lonely? Because yes, you are among people, but
no, you don't feel lonely because you spend a lot of time learning how to meditate. And what happens is, it's very interesting. So in the first 3 days, like think about it, right now there's so much input, right? Like in your mind, like you're always getting stuff, you're hearing stuff, someone's talking to you, you're reading, there's so much input. And after 3 days of no input, your own stuff starts coming out. And now you're dealing with your own things. I was very young, I think, at the time. I wasn't ready to deal with whatever came up. So I just didn't. It was like, but it can be transformative when you start dealing with your own stuff and there's no input coming in. And now you're really occupied with what else is coming out and how am I doing? And you're more looking inwards than outwards because there's no conversation outside. It's a fantastic experience. It happens, I think 2-3 times a month, all over the world. There are places in the US, there are places everywhere. You just can go take 10 days and you learn to meditate and you basically disconnect from everything for real. But you're not on your own, right? Like if God forbid something happens, there are plenty of people there to help you. So it's not like you're going out in the jungle to trip on some, juice and nobody knows and God forbid something happens to you. It's fantastic.
Wow, thank you for sharing self-discovery.
It's really great. I would do it again. I would definitely do it again. Someone told me that you can get to the same place mentally with meditation as you can with drugs, all the LSD and all that stuff. It just takes longer and it takes practice. But you can get to the same feeling of high or clarity or all that stuff. It just takes some time. And now what's amazing about Vipassana is that it doesn't charge, money is not a barrier to meditation anymore, right? So if all you have to have is like 10 free days and you can go and experience it. And then if you can't pay for it, that's fine. You serve another 10 days and you help someone else through the journey. So there are many ways of looking in, right? And kind of like figuring out what it is you want that have nothing to do with your financial situation at the moment.
Do you ever have a mentor or a coach yourself?
I do, yes. I've switched a few. Now I have someone that I really, really like. His name is John Logar. He's Australian. And if you guys want, he's sharing a really fantastic 10-day experience that I did with him, completely free. It's called consultingrocket.tv. And you can go through that. If you ever want to sell high ticket prices and you don't know how to find your audience, how to set up your offer, what to offer, how to talk to someone on the phone, how to convert, these are fantastic 10 days where you can jump in and learn so much from this guy. He's really, really amazing.
What is the most valuable thing your mentor has told you?
Well, I switched from selling programs to an agency to do for you, done for you. So what we do right now, we help companies grow their business with live video. And before I used to teach people how to do that and they got overwhelmed and it was so much for them. And now it's like, okay, fine, we'll do everything. All you have to do is show up, look pretty, have conversations, and we do everything else. And so that was the biggest shift of working with them.
What is the most valuable thing you have ever given away?
The most valuable thing, my time. I don't think, there's anything more valuable than your time. And when you give your time, because you can't get it back, right? You just spent a minute with someone. Yeah. And so I love helping people. It fills me up with so much energy. I actually have a free community where people can join in and interact with other people and get little challenges and actually feel like they're moving the needle a little bit. But I think every time someone gives you their time, you should really, really, really treasure it and really follow on the advice because there's nothing more valuable than that.
Tell us why everyone is going live but not getting the results. What is missing?
A lot of people, when they go live, they broadcast. They're kind of like standing on a podium and they are preaching. And there's even though they might be giving like fantastic information, what's missing is the interaction with the users. So they're turning it rather than a conversation, they're turning it into a sermon. And what's missing about that is like, if someone not interacting with me live, why would I watch it live? I'll just come back later, watch it twice as fast, get the gist of it and done, right? And in that way, they might as well just upload a video and it will have the same effect. But when you're going live, the magic of live is in the interaction. it's in the conversation with people. You can do it one-on-one, you can do it one-to-many, but once you're interacting with people, a few amazing things happen. One, you build trust right away. Two, you're not talking to a motionless camera. You're actually having a conversation with someone. Three, you don't have to read or remember or anything like that. You just, adding value to the person in front of you. And four, other people are seeing you as the expert who's helping other people and not just talking at people. So if you guys are going to go live, I highly recommend that you turn it into a conversation rather than another video where it's just your, talking head on the screen.
Let's talk about your business. Tell us more about it.
So what we do, we found that there's so much content out there, right? Everybody's working with like content calendars and they're publishing, but very few people get their content seen. The way to actually get your content seen is to leverage. You leverage other people's audience and you leverage live streaming algorithms. And when you do that, you can get to the top of Google for other people's keywords, for other people's names, much faster than you were to do it on your own. You can build your list, you can build your audience much faster. And what we found is that you convert much higher. So we work with people who sell high ticket offers, $4,000, $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 ticket. And just by going live and interacting with people and having conversations, their sales go up by 10, 20%. So from every live show, they can get like between 1 and 2 sales. So when you're selling $4,000, $5,000, $8,000, that's fantastic. And then we're taking that show and we turn that into all the content that you need. So podcast, YouTube playlist, images, social posts, blogs, all that jazz happens after the fact. So you as our client don't have to do anything except show up twice a month, have mind-blowing conversations with experts, and convert people. And then from there, we take that and turn that into amazing content to continue driving traffic to your own properties, your own website.
And where can we find your product and how can we connect with you?
So there are 2 websites. If you want to join my bi-weekly show and speak with thought leaders, unscripted in real time, just join amthatgeek.com. And if you want to see if you're a good fit for our Done For You service, that's viralconnectivity.com.
So, Clan, there will be more from Yifat in a moment. If you are listening on one of the many podcasting platforms rather than my website and you are encouraged by Yifat's journey, go to onlinesuccessjourney.com for a portion bonus of the interview. The Online Success Journey is a wonderful membership community built for people searching for the path to success. We are one big clan and you can be part of this community for free. Once you have joined the clan, click on part 2 of Yifat's journey or over 200 plus other journeys that are available and learn how you can find the right path for your own online success journey. That's a wrap, clan. Remember, success is a journey. Patience and Yifat.
This is not the end of the journey. We hope you've enjoyed listening to part 1 and want to be sure you know there is a second part to this and every journey podcast at onlinesuccessjourney.com. filled with even more success tips, uplifting stories, and even a bit of fun. There are dozens of episodes only available to the members of the Online Success Journey clan. Check out the website and click on Join the Clan for more information. Patience would like to thank you for listening to this podcast, and she has a free audio gift for you at her website. Go to onlinesuccessjourney.com for instant access to this gift. Of course, you know that listening to the journeys of others helps each of us chart our own path. So make sure you're subscribed to be notified as each new interview is posted. There are so many ways to stay connected to the Online Success Journey and to listen in. And if you're enjoying the podcast, we appreciate your help in telling others. One of the best ways to share the benefit you get is to rate and review it at Stitcher and other sites by clicking the stars or completing the ratings form, by clicking thumbs up and leaving a comment on YouTube, or liking and sharing the podcast on social media. To review the podcast within iTunes, simply open iTunes to the podcast, click on Ratings and Reviews, then write a review. On behalf of patients and until next time, thanks once more for listening. It is our hope that this podcast will guide you on your own online success journey.